Hi guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, you heard me. I am back on YouTube. Not only am I back on YouTube though, I am back in my home. In this home, I have literally been gone for over 2 months. We left on October 22nd, 2022, and we got back on January 8th of 2023. We have never left home for this long. We have 2 small children. They have never left home for this long. I'm gonna get into it. Also, I have 2 small children. There's a lot that has happened since the last time that I uploaded on YouTube. I think the last video I posted was over a year ago. I was talking about breastfeeding Lennox, who is already almost 2.5, insane. I just decided that I am coming back to YouTube. Let's snap it up, okay? I feel like YouTube is one of those platforms where I can just share all of me. And something that I realized in 2022 is that I was kind of running away from my motherhood, like my role as a mother, and I wanted it to be separate from all of my businesses because that's what I thought would kind of exude professionality, or that's what I thought I needed to do. Was to be successful in my business, I needed to keep motherhood separate. And what I realized is that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I don't need to hide or keep that part of me separate from all of the other things that I do. And I feel like when I was in Florida, Colorado, I don't even know where I am. I feel like when I was in Florida the last 2 months, I really had this awakening, this epiphany where I was like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on here, what needs to happen, what change needs to be made, because the universe was giving me a lot of signs. And I finally decided to listen. And so I was like, I'm gonna take these 2 months to really wrap my head around what it is that I wanna do. And when we were in Florida, we were hanging out with some of Lucas's college buddies, and one of his buddies' girlfriend has a YouTube channel. She's big on YouTube, and I was seeing her vlogging and I was like, damn, I miss that. Like, I really miss that. And so that was a little ping for me that, oh, maybe YouTube could be a platform. And as soon as I kind of entertained that idea, it's like the floodgates opened. I was able to see the potential and the benefit of moving to YouTube. So the reason I'm moving to YouTube, because if you're new here, hi, I'm Amanda. I kind of just rambled and just dumped a lot of things on you, but I'm Amanda. I am 25 this month, not 25 yet, but I will be 25 this month. I have 2 small children. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I'm a holistic mindset and wellness coach. And so I really wanted to find a platform that I could put on my mom hat and talk about mom things, talk about motherhood, share with you guys all of the things that I've been through and the experiences that I've been through, and maybe share so that you guys feel less alone. You can get some resources, you can get some tips. And then I also wanted to be able to put on my health coaching hat and be like, hey, here are the mindset shifts that really changed my life. I just wanted to find a platform where I could share all of me and all of what it was that I wanted to talk about. And I think YouTube is the perfect platform for that. I also really love to just chat. And if you guys are coming here for my podcast, you know that. But I kind of just did a whole like 180, 360. I'm not good at math, whatever it is when you like completely turn the other direction. I used to have a membership community called The Pretty Naked. Loved it. It was amazing. I did virtual events and I had women come together and rally around self-growth, and we did a bunch of events based on self-care, and it was really community driven and it was so beautiful. But I paused that because I just didn't feel like I was being called there. I was feeling drained by it. And then I had my podcast, and that was great, but that was so unnecessary. There is a huge motorcycle man over there. Anyway, I had a podcast and I loved doing the podcast, but I was just feeling like I wanted to share more rather than getting people on to interview them. So the podcast is stopping as well. I know, a lot of things paused, stopping, but I'm not scared of that anymore. I think in the beginning I was so scared to stop podcasting, stop The Pretty Naked, and I'm pausing coaching clients right now too. I'm not taking on any clients, which is really scary for me because coaching is my biggest passion and it's my main source of income. So I am taking a leap right now, but I'm so lit up by that. I'm so excited by that because I just really feel like this is the right move for me right now, and I'm just excited to start sharing more with you guys about my life, about motherhood, about my family dynamic, about health and wellness and mindset and beliefs and habits and girly motherhood, like just all the things, okay? We're gonna talk about it. But in today's video, I'm going to catch you guys up on where the heck we've been for the last 2.5 months, why we road tripped from Colorado to Florida, what it's like traveling with 2 children 2 and under, and things and products that actually made the traveling a lot more smooth and a lot easier. So I'm gonna get into all of it. Starting off with, why did we decide to pack up our things and go road trip across the country to Florida? I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea why we wanted to do this. I'm trying to think back to what my mindset was at the time, and I really don't know what we were thinking. We had an amazing time, okay? A lot of realizations, a lot of fun, a lot of love, a lot of light, but also a lot of like, why the hell did we do this? We miss our home. And when I think back to where I was in October, I was still super postpartum. I was 4 months postpartum. So I think I had just been so pregnant for most of 2022, delivered my baby in June, kind of had a traumatic birth experience, and then was postpartum in the summer when everyone's out and about, when I just wanted to like retreat in my home with my baby and like breastfeed in my bed, but felt the pressure to do everything. So I feel like where I was in October was we have family in Florida. That's the main reason we were like, let's go to Florida. I have my brother in Tampa, Florida, and he was getting married. He just got married. Congrats, Christian and Jordan. And so we knew that we were going to be there in January, but Lucas's parents are also in Orlando, Florida, and then all of my extended family. So like my aunt, my cousin, my grandma, like all of my extended family are still there. So we were like, why not go for Thanksgiving? Because we usually do Thanksgiving with Lucas's parents anyway. So why not go for Thanksgiving, stay for the month of December, go stay at my aunt and uncle's beach condo because we've been craving the beach, and then go to Tampa for a little bit, see how we like Tampa, and then go to my brother's wedding in January. Sounds like a really great idea. And it was amazing. I'm so happy we did that. Like, honestly, I don't regret it. Will I ever do it again? Never again, but I don't regret it. So I think the reason we really wanted to do it was because we were kind of just a little cabin fevery in our, you know, home in Denver. I hadn't been on a plane or traveled in over a year. So I think we were just really cabin fevery, and we're like, ooh, beach sounds like a shiny object right now. Like, let's go do it. Mind you, when we were there, they had just had a hurricane. So we literally could not even use the beach. All of the stairways to the beach, like the entrances to the beach, completely damaged. We had like terrible weather the whole time we were there. Still a great time, but like not ideal. And then we had a great time in Tampa, but the reason we really wanted to go to Tampa was because 1, my brother was there, 2, my parents were getting an Airbnb down there for a bit so my dad could play some golf, but we were also really seeing if Tampa would be a place that maybe we would want to move to one day, because Lucas and I are both from Orlando, Florida. We have so many friends that are also in Tampa, so we're craving community, and we were like, you know what, let's go see what's going on in Tampa. Let's go see what's up, because everyone and their mother is moving there, and see if we can envision ourselves here. No. I love Tampa. I will say the one thing I loved about Tampa was obviously the beach and the water is right there and it's amazing. But Tampa has a lot of cool places to hang out. So we would go to like Sparkman Wharf, and Armature Works there all the time. If you guys live in Tampa, you know those are amazing places. They're like outdoor hangout areas, big food halls. So we love that. We love that there were so many healthy food choices. Like we went to Fresh Kitchen like almost every single night. We went to Water and Flower. There were just a bunch of options. We felt like it was a very wellness oriented place, which you guys know I love wellness. So we loved that about Tampa, but we cannot do the heat. And I honestly, I don't think I can ever live in a place that doesn't have seasons again. I lived in Florida for 18 years. That's enough for me. Like, I need snow. And I don't even need snow to like go out and play in the snow. I love skiing, but that's not even like the biggest reason. It's because I think that living seasonally is so important as a woman because our hormones are the same. Like our menstrual cycle is that winter, our follicular phase. Am I getting this right? I'm totally botching this. Menstruation, follicular, ovulation, luteal. Yeah. So your menstrual is your winter, your follicular is your spring, your ovulation is your summer, and your luteal is that fall. And so as a woman, like I feel so called to winter because it's really the period where I get to like rest and be in my home and make nourishing chilies, and I just feel like my body functions better when I'm living seasonally. And there's nothing like watching the snow fall out of your window and being cozied up in like some Skims loungewear. Like I could never not have that again. That is pretty much the main reasons we were like, okay, no, we can't live in Tampa, but we had a great time. It was amazing. Love it down there. Can't do the no seasons. So that was why we wanted to go to Florida. We had a bunch of family and friends there. We were trying to see if we wanted to go live in Tampa eventually. We wanted to spend time with our family for the holidays, and then my brother had his wedding in Miami, Florida, which was so stunning. Enough about why we did it. I want to talk about how we did it, which we left on October 22nd, I think, or maybe the 21st, who knows? October 22nd is what I'm gonna say. We left on October 22nd and we road tripped all the way to Orlando, Florida. The reason we did this was because we knew we would be there for over 2 months and we wanted to have a car versus renting a car. So we knew driving our own car would be a lot cheaper than renting a car, and we drove from Denver to Kansas City, stayed there for a night. Then we went from Kansas City to Nashville, stayed with our lovely friends Taylor and Spencer. Thank you guys so much. So sorry that we brought the neurovirus to you. Lucas got the stomach bug literally the day before we left. We were like, what is going on with him? I thought that he got food poisoning from kava because that's happened to me before. Didn't get food poisoning, but the reason we thought that was because I didn't get sick. Like usually when you get a stomach bug, I feel like you all get hit like within 48 hours of each other. I didn't get it until like 72 hours until we drove to Nashville. And I brought the stomach bug to our dear, lovely friends, Taylor and Spencer, which I'm so sorry. We actually brought it to so many other people, but like, so sorry guys, love you. So we went to Nashville, stayed there for 2 nights, which was really nice because it kind of broke up the trip for our boys and allowed them to kind of have a day of rest and not in the car. And then from Nashville, we went to Pensacola, which is where Lucas went to school. All of his buddies met us up there and we had a weekend. We went to the football game and just did a bunch of shenanigans in Pensacola. And then from Pensacola, we drove another 7 hours to Orlando. And then we stayed put for like 2 weeks, and then we went to New Smyrna. So we were kind of in the Central Florida area, New Smyrna Beach. We did Orlando to Tampa, stayed in Tampa for a month, and then we road tripped to Miami. And then I was like, Lucas, I love you. That was an amazing road trip. It really went way smoother than we thought. And I was also like, you're driving back alone. I'm flying. I have to. The biggest thing about road tripping with 2 little ones was breastfeeding. I was breastfeeding Ellis every 3 hours. So it was so hard with a packed car to have to go from the front seat to the back seat, breastfeed Ellis like in the middle seat. It just wasn't comfortable and we had to make some stops. It was just like, it was a lot. Like it was great, but it was a lot. And so I would rather take 4 hours on a flight than 30 hours in a car. And honestly, I kind of rethought that after the flight, but I'll get into that. Totally forgot I had an Olipop right next to me that I was meaning to drink while I was recording this video. Cheers. Okay, I want to talk about traveling with 2 small children. And I want to talk about it because I think that I was very shocked at how I enjoyed and which one I found easier, road tripping versus flying. So I think, this is just from my personal experience, I think road tripping with a 2-year-old is a lot easier than flying with a 2-year-old because I flew back with Lennox and Ellis. We had 2 seats. So we had the window seat for Lennox, the middle seat for me and Ellis. My mom and my sister and her boyfriend were also on the flight with me. So they were sitting in different areas, but they were also on the flight. My mom was a huge help. She was walking down the aisles with Ellis. She pretty much had Ellis most of the time and I was basically on Lennox duty, but then a few times she took Lennox and walked down the aisle. The problem with flying with the 2-year-old is because at least in a car, you can roll down the window, get some fresh air, or you can get out of the car and stop at a gas station and stretch your legs and get a change of scenery, go to a park. You can get out, right? On a plane, you can't. And I think Lennox was just feeling so claustrophobic. He was just kind of like, get me out. There was nowhere to go. So this flight attendant at like the last, what, like 30 minutes when they come around to like collect the trash, he was like, Lennox, do you want to come help me collect the trash? And Lennox got out and literally walked up and down the aisles collecting trash with this sweet flight attendant man. I think road tripping with a toddler is a lot easier because you have Wi-Fi and you can play movies and you can sing songs and you can stretch your legs, you can go to a gas station, you can get snacks. And whereas with a plane ride, you can't get out. Sometimes you have to fasten your seatbelt because we have turbulence. It's just a lot more restricted. And I think having a toddler who is so busy, like Lennox is the kid that really can't sit still for like 5 minutes unless he has like a show on that he likes. But the problem is when I was done with the 3 shows that I downloaded for him, he wanted different shows. And I was like, I don't have these different shows for you. I'm sorry, Bubs. And he lost his shit, was like kicking the seat in front of him. I was like, oh my God. The lady literally turned around in front of him and said, please stop kicking my seat. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, flying with a toddler, not great. Flying with a baby, honestly fine, because I was able to nurse him on the way up so that his ears weren't super bad. And then he fell asleep. He was, I think, screaming, crying with my mom. But I think flying with a baby is a lot easier in terms of breastfeeding and more comfortability because it's 4 hours. They can really nurse and sleep. They can't like get down and go. They don't want to get down and go. They're not as mobile, right? Whereas in the car seat with Ellis, my 7-month-old, at the time he was 4 months old, he really just slept the whole time, but also it's like you're stuck in one position. Whereas on the flight, I was able to hold him. I could move him so he could be facing towards the seats or he could face his brother. He can kind of like stretch a little bit more than the car seat. So again, I think flying with a baby is a lot easier, especially if you have help. And I think driving with a toddler is a lot easier. Even though it was like a 30-hour trip, I just think that Lennox did a better job, honestly. Would I do it again for my sake? No, because I don't think I could do the 30-hour drive again. With kids, flying for me, I was just like, I'd rather take 4 hours of tantrums and kicking and screaming and breathing than 30 hours of like getting in the back seat of a cramped car, trying to breastfeed, dealing with Lennox, getting snacks, stopping, like, no, thank you. I want to get into the things that actually helped our travel go a lot more smooth. So like the products that we used and that we made sure we brought to make sure our babies were happy and good. Because I think when it comes down to traveling with 2 small children, I think the biggest thing is making sure that you have some consistency and some familiarity. So babies thrive off of routine, whether it's like you responding to their cues and that's the routine, or like you have a routine in terms of a nap schedule, a feeding schedule, etc. Whatever you do, totally your choice. But I think babies really thrive off of routine, at least my babies do. And so for us, making sure that we had some sense of consistency, some normalcy, and some sense of routine for our children really helped with making things go more smoothly. So here are the travel must-haves that if you are traveling with small children, you guys need this. When it comes to that sense of normalcy, for us, we chose to sleep train both of our babies. And Ellis, we sort of sleep trained him. He falls asleep on his own now, but he still wakes up like 2 to 3 times a night. We're still working on Ellis, but Lennox, he was sleep trained at 4 months and we really were consistent. And so he is like the best sleeper. He does his bedtime routine. And after that, like he knows what's up. He goes to bed. We've had no problems with him. So the things that I think really help when you're traveling is to have a consistent bedtime routine, even if it's not sleep training. For me, I wish I slept trained Ellis before we left because I'm just somebody that I don't co-sleep well and I don't function well if I wake up a lot in the middle of the night. For anyone listening, if you guys are about to travel or you want to travel in the future with your kids, I think having some sense of routine is so important. So whether that is sleep training your baby beforehand and having that routine and getting them on a consistent sleep schedule, or if you don't want to sleep train, maybe you do co-sleep, at least having like a consistent bedtime routine. So for us, we change diapers, put PJs on, we do a book, put the sound machine on, and then we sing a song and they go to bed. And so that, even like something as simple as that, whether it takes 5 to 10 minutes, it is so helpful because it lets them know what is going on. And especially for a toddler, they just want to know what's going on. They want to feel like they have some sense of control and they're in the loop. And even with a baby learns by consistency. A baby feels secure by having something they can expect. And so with Ellis, even though he wasn't totally sleep trained, we had a consistent bedtime routine for him that was so nice for when we were traveling, because amongst all of the different bedrooms we stayed in, houses we stayed in, states we stayed in, time zones, having some sense of a bedtime routine let them know, okay, now it's time to go to bed. It gave them a cue. And so I think it was so helpful with all of the change that was going on to have them have that bedtime routine so they know, okay, this is the same, and this is when this happens, I do this. When I have my bedtime routine, I go to sleep. So having a bedtime routine or some sense of familiarity when you travel, whether that's just like a stuffed animal that they really like, that literally makes all the difference. The two must-haves that you need for traveling, especially with a baby, is the Hatch sound machine and the slumber pod. So my 2-year-old Lennox, he has the Hatch sound machine, and then we also have one for my son Ellis, who's 7 months. And then Lennox actually just slept on a blow-up mattress, a twin size blow-up mattress, or like a queen bed in the hotel or the beach or at my in-laws house, and he was totally fine with that. But Ellis slept in a playpen in our room, and he's so sensitive to sounds and light. And so what really helped for Ellis was having that slumber pod. You guys, it is like, it's a contraption. Like it is literally a tent that is kind of a pain to put up. Everyone says the slumber pod is so easy to put up and break down. It is, but it's also really not. The amount of times Lucas and I got into arguments over putting up the damn slumber pod, countless. Can't even count on 2 hands. It was a challenge, but so worth it. Like so worth it, because we were in places for 5+ days, extended amount of time, so we weren't having to like put the slumber pod up and break it down, you know, often. And so it was really nice to have that, because it kind of gave Ellis a like little room within our room, and it made it so dark that he couldn't see anything. He knew it was bedtime, and he really couldn't hear as much either because we had the sound machine really close. If you're traveling with a baby, I would say like under 1, even if you want to bring it for your toddler. I think people do it for their toddlers too. Lennox was more like, no, I just want to sleep in a bed. But I think the slumber pod is so crucial if you have a baby under 1. By the way, all of these products that I'm mentioning will be in my Amazon storefront under like travel must-have baby essentials for you guys, because again, these were must-haves, and these are products that I feel like if you're traveling, please don't travel without these, because these were lifesavers. When it comes to entertaining my toddler and my baby, I think what was really crucial, both for the flight and for the road trip, was having like an activity station. So for the road trip, we had an activity station. We just have like one of those things that go over the passenger seat. And so on the seat in front of him, we have like something that, I'm so botching this. I'm gonna put a picture right here of it so you guys see what I'm talking about. But it's like little compartments where I can put like his flashcards, a book. I can put the little iPod that we use to put a movie on for him. We don't have an iPad yet. I am like holding off for as long as I can to get an iPad for him, because this kid, when he watches a lot of shows, his temper, his behavior, just like not good. So right now he's currently on a strike from movies. We're all trying our best, right? Like we are just learning as we go. Anyway, I digress. You guys, snacks. I don't know if you guys have a toddler like Lennox who eats constantly. Like this kid loves food. I mean, he's his father's son. He loves food, and having snacks was so helpful, because whenever he was having a tantrum in the car, say he had like watched a show already, we'd read some books, he was just like not having it and we didn't want to stop, I'd be like, you want a snack? And he would be like, yeah, mama. And I was like, okay. And it would keep him occupied for like 30 minutes. So snacks are so crucial. I also have a like favorite snacks folder on my Amazon storefront if you guys want to go check those out, because I am so picky when it comes to toddler snacks, because there is just so much sugar in kids' foods, which blows my mind and really makes me angry. So I curated a list of snacks that are Amanda approved, okay? So go check those out if you guys are interested and you want to have snacks on your road trip or your flight, especially for the plane ride, because you can bring in, I'm pretty positive you can bring in outside snacks to the airport. I think they can go through security, and you guys know there are not healthy options at airports. Like, you can find some, but especially not for kids, and especially on the flight. Pringles, little like waffle strudels, no. Go to my Amazon storefront and look at the snacks that I have, because there are such great options to bring while you're traveling. The last product that was so crucial for us was a portable baby high chair. So Ellis actually, so he started the road trip when he was 4 months. When he got back to Denver, he's 7 months. So he started solids while we were traveling. And I wanted something, because I knew we were staying in a place that had like a countertop, like an island where we would sit at with bar stools. I wanted something that I could just kind of clip onto the counter so that he could be a part of the conversation and a part of the mealtime. So when my 2-year-old was eating, he could eat next to him. And so I found this awesome baby high chair that is, you literally just clip it onto the counter or a table. It's pretty universal. It can fit on most tables. You just kind of like twist it to the desired height and like width or thickness. And I'll put a picture here as well. But we loved it, and it's super affordable, and we brought it back. So that's definitely a high chair that I'm going to bring whenever we go to, like, I don't know, if we go to an Airbnb or we go to the mountains for a weekend. We're not traveling anytime soon, but like the next time we do travel, I'm bringing that one, because it's so nice to have something to just put them in, especially when Ellis was starting solids. Like, I was like, am I just gonna hold them on my lap? How is this gonna work? So that was so crucial. Starting solids, it's so funny. It was so nerve-wracking for me with Lennox. I was so nervous. I was so anxious about choking. And now with Ellis, I'm just like so cool, calm, and collected. I trust more, and it's just so fun. Like, I feel like because I'm more trusting, and I've been through it with Lennox and I know how to do it, I think that it's just so much more fun. It's one of the most adventurous, fun, exciting, and just like joyful times in your baby's life, is watching them explore new foods and tastes and smells and textures. And so yeah, having that baby high chair was just so perfect, because we were able to start solids really smoothly and really well while traveling. And that is it, you guys, for my travel tips, my travel product must-haves. Again, not traveling for a long time. Actually, I think I'm traveling in like March or April. I don't know, but I need a good month or two. I'm so happy to be back in my house. Like, I think the biggest thing that I realized traveling was how important my environment really is for my energy. And something I experienced too while I was traveling is a lot of burnout, because I was still coaching. I was having to navigate my schedule with Lucas's work schedule with having the kids full time, because Lennox wasn't in daycare. That was a huge thing. He wasn't in daycare while we were traveling, and he goes to daycare 3 times a week. That's how I was able to work. I really was faced with a lot of like conflict and hustling and having to work on odd hours, and it led to a lot of burnout. And so one of the videos that I really want to create for you guys is how I navigated burnout, how I'm still navigating it, what I did to get my stress levels under control. I feel a million times better now. And so I'm going to do a whole video on that for you guys. If you're interested, just let me know in the comments below what specifically you guys want to know, and I will create that video for you guys. But I'm so excited to be back, like, on YouTube. I said this to Lucas, but YouTube was the first platform I ever created on. So if you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I started on a blog. But before I did a blog, I was on YouTube. I was out there with my little stop motion videos. I had my friends and we made music videos. Like, I was out there on YouTube. It was the first platform I ever created on, and video editing was like my jam from day one. I love writing, and I love, taking photos, and I love podcasting, but video has always been a love of mine. And so I'm so excited to be back, and I just can't wait to foster more of a community here. You guys can expect so many things, but my main thing, self-growth, womanhood, wellness, motherhood, all of those things are what you can expect on here. So thank you guys so much for listening. I think I'm still on a freaking podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give a thumbs up. If you liked it, subscribe, because I am going to be putting out new videos every single week. So 1 video a week you can expect from me, and I am here. I'm showing up. I'm so excited about this. See you guys in the next video. Bye.